What's going on, VC? Been a minute, but I'm back. So, work once again has been crazy. Took some time off around the Easter holiday. Now my emails are paying for it, so excuse me, is a little late and feeling a little raspy tonight. So, just decided to take a break and share some records with you guys. So, this is like two different pickups that I'm showing tonight. Tonight's, if you watched my very first pickup video, I talked about a thrift store that I went to that cut me a good deal. I finally had a chance to go back there, and he said he didn't get anything new, but I didn't recognize some of these at all, so maybe he didn't pull them out. I don't know. So, some from that. And then a few weeks ago, I went to a the village, it's estate sale, because the English language is very challenging. Anyway, so I went to an estate sale, and they said, hey, oh, Saturday everything's negotiable except for the records. So as I'm pulling stuff, and I'm like, all right, we're gonna work on a deal. They're like, oh no, we're not. They're mandatory $5 a piece, and I'm thinking, all right, well, some of these are not $5 records, but to each his own. So I let those go, but there were about a handful, maybe 4 or 5, that were worth the money, and then some. So they looked like they had been picked pretty clean the day before, and there were some weird things going on with the pricing, so I wasn't sure if they were like maybe asking something else on Friday and then they got left, because I can't imagine people had picked through this collection and left these on a Saturday, but I will take them, and I did. So I know I'm not going to start with the haul from the estate sale. There's some goodies in there. I won't say grails, but there's some goodies. So we'll start with the other thrift store, the thrift store that I went back to. So it worked out to be like $4 or $5 a piece, I think it was again. And again, some good stuff. I mean, I really wasn't upset with it. There was a couple, like I said, a few of these I don't even remember seeing. So for him to say he had them before, maybe he just didn't show them to me or whatever. But let's get that started. Almost 3 minutes in, and I haven't shown a damn record. What's the matter with me? My manners. Show the records. Who Quadrophenia? I mean, once they were on a roll with these doubles, I mean, I love this. I love Tommy. I mean, this probably has one of the best moments that Roger Daltrey ever put down. Love Reign Over Me. I remember seeing them on the, I think it was Tommy's 25th or 30th, whichever anniversary tour it was, that they ended up releasing Joined Together, the box set, which I have. Whatever tour that was, that's what I saw them. And they did Tommy in in its entirety, but then they cranked out some other stuff, and when he did that, I mean, just the goosebumps, just his pipes were still strong. So the next one I grabbed from that one, because you just never have enough Skinnerd. So I've got I got Second Helping, I've got Pronounced. So we're still working on completing the collection, but whenever you're in the mood for the hits, Gold and Platinum just covers it, and it keeps you busy. So it's a fantastic set. Argent. This is all together now. If I remember correctly, this is I think this is actually a first pressing. Cover's okay, but the vinyl sounds good. You can hold your head up till the cows come home. And I think Paul Skilm. I every time I say that name, I feel like I'm butchering it. So Paul, I apologize. He just showed this in one of his videos for Top 100 Records, and it's a great thing that he's doing on it. So I'm not gonna take away his thunder. But yeah, that's a great album. It's just good rock and 70s stuff. And a band that I'm starting to get back into. I liked them in the 80's, and then probably around the time they did Coverdale Page, for some reason I lost interest in David Coverdale and Whitesnake. But it's starting to come back, you know. I mean, the sexual innuendo. I mean, I thought Zeppelin was bad with some sexual innuendo, but you know, it's Whitesnake. You know what you're getting. But Ready and Willin', I mean, Fool for Your Lovin'. I mean, it's a great album. Glad to have this one back. So I'm gonna be looking to pick up some more because you know that's what we do. We buy the things that we even think we like or may want to get into. So because we have a sickness, and that's what we do. Sorry, I'm realizing that I have 2 hauls in this, and that's okay. So more to share, more to love. This is what happens when you don't prepare. I literally just grabbed the stack that I thought was all together. So the last one in this haul was a nice surprise. Like I said, don't remember seeing any. I might have seen Skinnerd for some reason and left it because I'm an idiot. But I don't know who this band ADC is, but they're pretty good. You should keep an eye out for them. So what this is obviously it's a bootleg. It's AC/DC Live. I remembered it doesn't say. What I do remember is it's from an FM broadcast, so it sounds really clean, which is nice. So you don't want to get something audience recorded on vinyl. It's just the noise is going to be horrendous. I know there's a lot of questions on quality, with especially a lot of Beatles boots and stuff like that. But this was really good, and I mean, it's an AC/DC boot. It's got Bon Scott. I'm jumping for $5. Yeah, and I think I checked on Discogs, and it's averaging around 30 or 40. Not that matters to me because I'm not selling. But when you've got a whole lot of Rosie, Let There Be Rock, Problem Child, it's like yes. So glad to have that in the AC/DC collection. So these are just some random. I want to say these are dollar record pickups at like different yard sales. A couple thrift stores that I go to that are not Goodwills, because the Goodwill situation for me is just, I mean, I look at vinyl and I laugh. We'll browse the CDs a little bit more thoroughly, but the vinyl's a joke. After the Gold Rush from Neil Young, this is I think a second or third pressing, but again, Neil Young was one of those people that when I was younger and I was really into just the hardcore angst, anger, punk, hip hop, just if it didn't have the attitude, I wasn't buying. Now that I'm older, and I still love that stuff, but my ears are tuning in a little bit more, and man, everything I've been hearing from Neil Young, I've been loving. So I'm late to the bandwagon, but I'm on. Jay Giles Band Live, Full House. As much as I don't know the earlier Jay Giles, and shame on me for not, when I'm looking at some of these things that you're looking at songs like Hard Driving Man and Whammer Jammer, and you just it's more of a blues. Excuse me, it's more blues than it is anything else. Yeah, I definitely, for $1, absolutely, I'm gonna grab that and give it a shot. Dog and Butterfly from Heart. I can't go wrong with Heart. Ann Wilson is my first crush. When I was a kid, I was probably like 7 or whatever, and I heard Dreamboat Annie. I fell in love with her. Her voice, I mean, she was always called the siren, and rightfully so, because she really can belt it out. When I saw them live, it was 1984, I think it was, when the self-titled album came out. And I remember, excuse me, I gotta take a drink. Cheers, everybody. It's just Coke or Pepsi. Excuse me, I'm brand specific. So, Pepsi, if you're watching, feel free. Send me some money. Anyway, excuse me. I just really can't shake this tonight. I'm. She put on weight. I didn't care. I thought she was gorgeous. That voice, her voice would sink a fleet of battleships. I mean, she really was the siren of rock. And I remember she referenced it, and a couple guys were like, "Yeah, you put on some weight," and she's like, "I don't care. I'm not here for you." And she tore that house apart. It, so I'm glad to say that I've seen her live, and I can tell you that entire night I was just like, I think with my stepdad, and maybe my mom went too, because like I said, '84, I would have been a teenager. There was nobody else in that arena except for me and Anna and Nancy, because you got to have them both. I mean, Nancy's got to play, so, and sing the backups and the harmonies. So I was smitten. Still do love that voice. So no one missing persons. Obviously, fantastic synth pop from the '80s. This is not their big one that had Destination Unknown, but again, when you're picking them up for $1, I'm not familiar with this record as much as I am the band. So I'm willing to give that one a try. Again, for $1, you're jumping. Southside Johnny and the Asbury Jukes. I remember listening to these guys as growing up. I've mentioned my uncle and my aunt really kind of laid a foundation for me for music. And with this, I just remember being it played. Now I don't remember a lot of it. I remember we played it and I enjoyed it. So it's kind of that rediscovery thing for me, which is nice. Couple more in this stack. Good old, it's that blue-eyed soul, man. It's Michael McDonald, Hall Notes. I love it. Definitely branching out on his own. And Scott, I keep forgetting, which is just a classic. I mean, how can you go wrong with that? So, and again, Michael McDonald for $1, yes. And the last one that I thought was really cool, and I picked this up at a yard sale, even though Brian has apparently autographed it. Famous ghost stories. So Halloween's a big holiday in my house. You might have noticed, and I've moved the camera, but in other videos I have a Jack Skellington hanging in our. This is kind of our living room and record storage, and it's rearranging some stuff. It's crazy. But Halloween's a big holiday in my house, and we love Jack Skellington. We love Nightmare Before Christmas. So whenever I see anything Halloween, we always tend to buy it, and now that we're back into vinyl as a household, I just thought it would be a really cool thing to have around Halloween. Sit down with my son and listen to some ghost stories and just have a little fun. So I'm looking forward to checking that one out. So now, the kind of the big stuff, the goodies, the ones you sat through, 13 and a half minutes for. So going to this estate sale. This guy had a ton of records, ton. Okay, maybe not like ton, maybe it was like 300-400, but still that's a good amount to go into a sale and be able to pick through. Some of them weren't in the greatest condition. Like I said, a lot of them were severely some of them were severely water damaged, and they weren't budging on the prices. They were like, "Oh, they are $5. They're not moving." And honestly, I mean, some of the stuff that they had, they're like, "Oh, we're gonna sell it online if whatever doesn't sell." And I'm like, "You're not gonna get top dollar for this. It's not in the greatest condition." But I did, as anybody else would, I digged, and I'm not mad with what I left with. So the first thing I left with was Innervisions by Stevie Wonder. I mean, this period of Stevie, Innervisions, Songs in a Key of Life, it's amazing stuff, and he had a strong run. at least for me. I mean, up until I'd probably say the early '80s, where it was really getting into the pop side, which is it stuff's okay, but I mean, you give me the early stuff of the '60s, you give me the '70s Stevie, and it's amazing, and the amount of people he had work with him, and the amount of people that came through his records, and the amount of people he influenced, and just he touched so many people. He didn't shy away from anything. You know, and no topic was spared. So glad to have that one. The next one that I grabbed, it's not the cleanest. It plays. It's got a couple pops here and there, so it's kind of a placeholder. But I absolutely love this album. We have it on CD, and I couldn't say no. Flare away. The Doors' Soft Parade. Just, I mean, anything to me, anything Doors is a safe bet. But this album, their debut, and Strange Days are probably three of my favorites. And like I said, I didn't have this on vinyl. I had it before, and you know, I don't even want to talk about it. But just a fantastic album. I mean, Morrison's informed, the band sounds tight, just great songs. So, I mean, not the cleanest, but like I said, it'll do. I want to say it's a second pressing, maybe a third. But again, I mean, it's been well loved, and I'm going to continue to love it. So the next one that I grabbed, and this guy was really just a huge, I mean, he had it out for Todd Rundgren, man. He was all over some Todd Rundgren. And as I see that, I start looking and thinking and hoping and praying. Naz's debut, just fantastic record. Definitely has that mixture of like the little bit of the '60s pop, and it's got a little bit of the psych and a little bit of the fuzz. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed this record, and I was glad to pick this up. The cover's not in the greatest of shapes. There's a couple of issues and wears, but I mean, honestly, for the price that I paid, like I said, about $5, sounds clean. And if I remember correctly, it's an original press. So I was not gonna leave that. So down the last two, and this was actually the first one that I had found. No, I take that back. It was the second one that I found. The first one I found was something that was in an okay shape, was having a Garfunkel. I'm thinking I'm gonna get it for a couple bucks, and they said no, $5. And I was like, it's not. You know, the cover's falling apart. I see some marks, so I put it back, and I ended up getting it in that big haul I had a couple weeks ago. So hooray me! Sometimes our intuition pays off. So remember, kids, listen to your gut. So this was the second thing I found, and my eyes couldn't have widened any further, and I thought, there's some gems here, so I'm going to keep digging. Hence I found, Nas. That's an original press of H.P. Lovecraft's debut, and just a fantastic find. Again, the cover's not in the greatest shape. Don't care. I can't play the cover. I'm going to look at the cover. It's going to be in this plastic bag. It doesn't matter. I secretly jumped. Do you ever do that, like you're digging somewhere, but you can't jump too loud or too high because everybody's going to be, oh, he found something. But you don't want to tip your hand? Yeah, that was me. I was trying so hard not to scream out because, and I get it, they're not super expensive, but to find one for $5 and this vinyl sounds great. There's a couple clicks, but otherwise, it sounds really good. Thoroughly enjoyed that album. Spun it a lot. And this will be the last one I show. This one, I saw it and I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So I was really glad to get it, but the cover is in not the best of shape, and that's Moby Grape's debut. Now this is an original press, but it's the original press that once they realized that, I'll put it right there, see the sticker, and someone tried to peel it off to see what they had, they used the stickers to cover up the fact that this naughty little boy right here is flicking you off, and someone peeled the sticker to see what they had. Okay, great, you've kind of messed up the cover. So the cover's in not the best of shape, but the vinyl played clean, especially for the age. Like I said, there's gonna be a couple noises, but you really don't hear it in the music. It's more in the dead wax and the in betweens. But I was super stoked to pick that one up. And again, for $5, I don't think anybody in the VC is gonna leave that one behind. So that's yet another stack. I have a couple of bins that I haven't shown yet, and basically my goal is to kind of show everything that I've been managing to pick up this year. So when I say I've recently got back in, it hasn't been too terribly long since I've really been, I won't say, yeah, I guess we can say hitting it hard, because I decided that my other hobby I was kind of bored with. I used to play video games a lot, and not like in that, playing it sitting on the couch for 10 hours a day or something like that. I was just a video game guy. I worked in video games for quite a long time in the sales side, so that was my bread and butter. It was my life, and once I walked away from that, I realized just how important music was. So this is all fairly new, and it's been a lot of luck. I'll tell you that right now, a lot of luck. So my goal is to kind of show everything that I've been picking up this year so far. So maybe tracing back, I say that because in case some of you are on the YouTube Facebook page, you might see some things that I posted up about a month or so ago, but now that I'm doing videos, that's what I want to do. So it's my channel, I get to do what I want, right? Hey, I really do appreciate anybody who's watching and takes the time to listen to me. I'm just here talking about music, so I don't drive my wife or my kids nuts as I can't shut up about it. So that being said, folks, I do appreciate you watching. I'm very close to 100 subs, and I honestly didn't think I would ever get 50, to be perfectly honest. I'm just a guy talking about music, and that's about it. So the fact that people are continuing to enjoy, continuing to comment, really touches my heart. So if you've commented on a video, if you've watched a video, if you subscribed, if you've thumbs up, if that's a word, I thank you. You mean the world to me, and that's no joke. I mean, I really do thank you, because it's been very flattering, the love that I've received in these few short weeks of making videos. So thank you ever so much. More stuff planned. Once we get to 100, we'll probably end up doing some sort of contest, or think of something around there. So stay tuned for that. VC, have a wonderful night. Thank you for watching. Feel free to comment on anything below that you see, and thanks a lot. Take care.